down with me? You down with me, down with me? I got a crowd wrapping round the whole town for me. They mama proud, got 1,000 in the balcony. Nah, I don't hear no clown talking foul on me.
Another episode of What It Odds podcast. It's your host JMX here, my other host Ryan. Ryan, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm chilling. I can't complain. Steelers won. Almost went perfect in our picks. I know you went perfect. Yeah, we got a bunch of news to talk about. Coop, Davante. Yeah, I'm doing all right though. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm actually kind of glad we waited a little bit, waited a day, so we can talk about that in this episode. But yeah, man, I'm doing really good. Went undefeated in my pick'ems. Hey, I just want to give myself a round of applause, man. And shout out to Ryan too. He got what you go, Ryan, 12-2.
Yeah, I only got two wrong. I only got the Broncos and the Jets.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie. If anyone who watches this, whoever best parlays, go ahead and take either me or Ron's picks because it's easy money, man. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about obviously the first game I want to talk about. Let's talk about the Monday Night Football game. The Bills and the Jets. The Bills traveled to MetLife and beat the Jets 23-20. It was I have two main takeaways from this game. Obviously the Jets' trajectory has kind of changed a little bit, and we're gonna get into that a little later. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I thought he played a really good game. I thought, obviously the last drive of the game didn't go the way they wanted to, but I thought overall he played a pretty solid game. I thought Brees ran the ball really well. I liked what I saw from Garrett. I liked what I saw from Lazard. But my main takeaway from this game is they just needed another weapon, which they got today. But I thought the defense didn't play too bad. For the Bills side of things, I thought they played really well. Shout out to Ray Davis, stepped up last second for James Cook. Buffalo defense, I thought, played really well. I mean, it's a division game, but Josh Allen is playing as good as anybody in the league right now at the quarterback position. But yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, it was a good game. I felt like for the people that say Rodgers is washed and all that, I think he's been getting better and better each game. And I get it. He's a vet. He's an all-time great quarterback. But coming off of that Achilles injury, like he definitely had doubts, and eventually I knew it would take him some time to kind of get back to his normal self. I don't think he'll ever be 100% of what he was, but I still think 90% of what Aaron Rodgers is better than most quarterbacks in the league.
Exactly.
I felt like the receiving core, especially with them getting Davante, which we're going to talk about later, is pretty solid. I thought they ran the ball well, but it was just Josh Allen is just playing out of his mind. Like you said, Ray Davis had a pretty good game with James Cook going out. And another big takeaway was the Bills' receiving core is not really great, which again, they just got Coop, which we're probably going to talk about a little bit later. But, yeah, I mean, Bills found a way to win it, so we got to give them credit. But, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about one other thing with this game. Did you see that throw? Well, I know you posted it. The throw Aaron Rodgers did in the middle of the field. I think, who was that to? Was that to Lazard?
Yeah, it was to Lazard.
Yeah, that and the Hail Mary, man, it just goes to show that no matter, I mean, bro, like this dude is just, people was really saying he was washed. I know he had a bad game, but, just he still can sling it at 40. Like he's still, to me, top 10. I know anybody can get mad at me and debate that with a wall, but I mean, I think he's still accuracy-wise top 5 in the league, and he also showed that he still got a cannon, man. Because, I mean, wait, how long was that Hail Mary?
I don't know. I think it was like 60, 50, 60, something like that. I'll look real quick.
It was let me see. Yeah, it was 52 yards.
There you go.
Like Aaron Rodgers can still do with the best of them. But yeah, moving on to a game I want to kind of go over briefly. The Buccaneers and the Saints. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one was closer at the beginning of it than a lot of people than the final score. What the final score is gonna say. I think at one point in the game, it was the Saints were winning this game, I think. Yeah, the Saints were winning at halftime 27-24 and then just kind of got steamrolled in the fourth quarter. The Bucs ended up winning this game 51-27. The Saints have now lost 4 straight games. Buccaneers are 4-2. I don't want to go too much deep into this game. The Saints, my main takeaway from this is just the Saints. The Saints are just they're banged up. They're out. I think 3 of their starting offensive linemen. I know Kamara is battling with like 3 injuries. We know Derek Carr is out, and in this game they lost Shaheed. They lost Olave. So I mean they got the Broncos on Thursday, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna say that for the prediction episode on what I think about that game. But I mean they're looking pretty shot as far as their season goes right now. I don't know what they're gonna do. Because I don't even think when Derek Carr comes back, if the season is going to be somewhat salvageable. But Tampa, Baker didn't have the best game to me, threw 3 interceptions. But the main takeaway I had from Tampa is they was able to just dominate the run game, and Chris Godwin got going.
Yeah, especially with the Bucks, their defense, like you said, played lights out in the second half. I mean, they put up 27 in the second quarter, but besides that, they didn't allow a single point. Granted, it was against a rookie quarterback, and I thought Rattler played all right, but like not like great. But like I mean, he's a
Yeah,
rookie. Like you can't really judge a rookie off their first game. I
yeah,
did think it was kind of crazy that the Bucks produced this much in the running game without their starting running back technically. Um, but yeah, and then Chris Godwin went off, and especially with no Mike Evans production whatsoever. He had 2 catches for 34 yards. Yeah, I mean that defense just stepped up, and I think a couple of the picks, I could be wrong. I know at least one of them for sure was a tipped pass that really wasn't Baker's fault. But granted, he still threw it, But it's not really his fault. But whatever.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think Baker played a pretty solid game. They ran the ball efficiently, and Chris Godwin kind of did his thing.
He went off. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to take away from that game. You did bring a Rattler. I thought he played solid in the first half. The second half, it just kind of fell apart. But I mean, I'm not gonna take too much away. He's got Denver, like I said, this week, so we're gonna see how that goes. But going to the next game, talk about again briefly the Packers and the Cardinals. The Cardinals dropped to 2-4. Packers go to 4-2. They won this game 34-13. Jordan Love was absolutely insane. 22 for 32, 258, 4 touchdowns. Christian Watson was their leading receiver. But I want to just talk about mainly one guy for Green Bay, and that's Romeo Dobbs. Shout out to him, man. I don't know. The situation over there was very shaky. They were saying that he just kind of stepped away from the team entirely. And then he came out and said he had a lot of stuff going on. So I don't know what it was, but for him to go out there and put up 2 touchdowns, it was pretty huge. And yeah, the Cardinals, his offense is not clicking like how it was kind of to start the season. Um, they need some. I mean, Marvin Harrison, I think he got hurt in this game, right? Yeah, he got hurt in this game. I mean, they showed outside of Marvin is they're really thin. But yeah, I don't know exactly what they need. Like, I mean, it's just really tough in Arizona right now. They're 2-4. I still think they're a trap game any week, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still think they have those games where they could beat anybody once Kyler gets it going. But he just has not played that well over the last few weeks. But yeah, man, Green Bay. Hey, Green Bay's 4-2, and they somehow stuck with it. Jordan Love is back, and he looks really good. So
Yeah, I think kind of what you said about Marv. Without Marv, this offense just kind of looks very vanilla. I mean, McBride looks like really is the only other receiving threat. And I mean, they got down 24-0 at one point in time, so you can't really run the ball like at all anymore. James Conner only had 7 carries, and I think we were talking about a way that the Cardinals could win the game is if they just fed James Conner the ball, and yeah, I mean they just didn't. 7 carries, and that's not really what I thought would have been the best game plan for him, but whatever. Jordan Love again, I think we had said we thought he should have came back around this time.
mm-hmm.
He looks all the way back from his injury. Sometimes with Jordan Love though, like he be making some boneheaded decisions that like he kind of got that Favre in him a little bit, but then like other plays he got that Rodgers in him a little bit where he's like the precision and like the accuracy and all that is like perfect. but then sometimes off his back leg, heaving it down the field into double coverage. It's like that's a play Favre would make. But I
Exactly.
mean, it's whatever. I mean, he played great. Josh Jacobs had a solid game, and like you said, the receiving core stepped up when they needed to. Especially, I think Jaden Reed got hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they stepped up when they needed it.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game. One that me and Ryan both got right that we both kind of questioned. I think in our prediction video, the Colts went on the road against Tennessee and they beat the Titans 20-17. The Colts go to 3-3. Titans fall to 1-4. I stand on what I say about Joe Flacco. I think he gives this team right now, it may sound crazy. I think he gives them the best chance to win games. I mean, that's just me. I'm not saying I don't think Anthony Richardson is bad. I think Joe Flacco, it sounds so crazy to say, but I mean, you look at him this season, like 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, QBR 72. I mean, passer rating of what's his passer rating? Of 100, 102. I mean, like, what else can you kind of say? Like, I mean, Tennessee, their defense is ranked highly in a lot of these categories. Like, their defense is no scrub. And Flacco went out there and had a pretty solid game. Didn't have the best game, but shout out to him. Shout out to Josh Downs. They were able to take care of business in this one. But I think the main thing is Will Levis. I don't know, man. You know what, Ryan? That's your boy. I'm gonna let you talk about the Titans and Will Levis, man. Go ahead.
Bro had that Spider-Man celebration. He was in the end zone. That was hilarious. Yeah, I made a little video about how Michael Pittman owns him, even though I think he had what 3 catches, but like he caught that one game winner last year against them. I think week
Oh,
13 or 14.
Sneed.
Yeah. He like it technically wasn't a game winner, but I think it was the last. Yeah, it was the last touchdown, but it was still 7:30 left in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just looking at the Colts schedule, they have the Dolphins, Texans, Vikings, Bills, Jets, Lions. I feel more confident about having Joe Flacco back there throwing the ball compared to AR. I really like AR. I still believe in him. I still like
Yeah.
I just in these games I just trust the more safe quarterback. And I think Joe
Yeah,
Flacco is playing better ball right now compared to what AR was at the beginning.
Joe Flacco is. I'm sorry, he's balling. Like, and I think really well he it wasn't the best game he had, but I just really like what I'm seeing from him. His arm is still insane. Like the fact that he's 40 and his arm is still kind of like it's still looking like those Baltimore days. Like he's overshooting some of the receivers on these throws, and it's like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah, kind of like you trying to say, but you're lagging really bad. Talking about Calvin Ridley, he had what 8 catches, I think, 8 receptions or 8 targets, whatever, and 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns, zero everything. D Hop had 4 receptions. I kind of think at this point it might be time to kind of see what Will Levis really is, and this offense isn't producing like kind of we expected. Cause I thought personally this offense was going to be solid, especially with. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be great, but like with Pollard and Spears being the running backs, I thought D Hop, Boyd, and Ridley were going to be a solid little trio. And then when they added Snead, I thought that was going to be solid. It's one defense is playing all right. It's really this offense just can't. They just can't keep up with the teams they playing, and it's yeah, dude. It's not great for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really think about it, like their defense hasn't given up too much. They've given up like 24-24. They gave up 30 to Green Bay, but that's because Will Levis was throwing all those picks. So I'm not even going to put pick sixes. And they gave up 20 to the Colts. And it's like, I mean, you should be more competitive in these games, but I mean, it is what it is. Titans dropped to 1-4. Moving on to the next game, the Texans. I don't want to get too much into it. Texans against the Patriots. This game was just an absolute. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I will say Drake May did play well, but this game really wasn't close at all. CJ kind of had his way with them a little bit. Joe Mixon went off. I think that's pretty much it. He showed when he's back and like when he's inserted in his lineup. I mean, it's gonna be hard to stop him. I mean, 13 carries, 102 yards on the ground, a touchdown. He had a receiving touchdown as well. Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell played solid without Nico. But I want to get into Drake May. And Drake May, I mean, I don't think he played too bad for his first game. I really like what I saw on those some of those drives, the 3 touchdowns that he had. Those drives are really good. The 2 interceptions, I think was one of them tipped. I could be wrong. I
I
don't know
got
if
no
one of them
idea.
was tipped. Yeah, I can't remember, but I know one of them was bad. But I mean, for his first start, I thought he didn't play bad. The Texans defense isn't they aren't the best and they aren't the worst. They're like, kind of middle of the package. So I mean, I didn't expect him just to, torch him. But I mean, he showed some flashes, man. And this receiving core, they showed that they have a lot of potential with Demario Douglas, Kayshawn Boot, Jalen Polk, if he can play. And then also they got Javon Baker sitting there on the bench as well. But I mean, hey man, the Patriots, they got a nice little core. If Drake May, I mean, he's gonna be starting now, so he can come along. Like, I really want to see what he does. Patriots are 1-5 though. The season is shot, but I want to see how he does against Jacksonville. They are the worst defense against the pass. I really want to see him next week because showing what he did against the Texans, he could show some flashes against Jacksonville. Good.
Yeah, man. I thought I don't care about the picks. I really don't. I thought he played very well. Like picks for a rookie quarterback in his first game or whatever to me. As long as he didn't throw like 20, 30 picks or some crazy something. It's like I really don't care about the picks. I thought just you could see the potential and you could see the reason why he was the third overall pick. That offensive line didn't play great either, and the defense kind of got picked apart. And I thought the Patriots' defense was a little bit more on the solid end, but CJ just kind of had his way with him and kind of did really whatever he wanted. How many sacks did they take? How many sacks did the
Patriots
Patriots?
4. He was sacked 4 times.
4. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like every time red zone came on, he was getting sacked. Either that or he threw that bomb at the end of the first half. That really like not surprised me, but like it kind of showed the potential of like, all right, like it was a good game. He played very well, and the potential was definitely there.
Yeah, moving on to the next one. The Falcons winning to Carolina. They beat the Panthers 38-20. Falcons go to 4-2. The Panthers drop to 1-5. Panthers are now 0-3 at home. Not really too much take away from this game. I thought it was gonna be a little bit closer. But I mean Andy Dalton. Yeah, so I mean Andy Dalton, I mean the offense is looking better than it was a Bryce. But I mean, the main thing with Carolina is the defense just has no talent. I mean, outside of JC Horn, they don't really have much there to work with. But shout out to Atlanta. They were able to run the ball well. I think Bijan and Algier both kind of had 100 on the day. Bijan had 95, but they had 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Drake London and Kyle Pitts both had solid days. But I mean, shout out to the Falcons. They were able to take care of business. Carolina, man, they just is gonna keep on struggling, dog.
Yeah, I think the Falcons played pretty well for again. It's against the Panthers, so you can only really take so much from it. Um, but yeah, I saw they were talking about it on ESPN today, talking about some of the ways that the Falcons are running the ball and some of like the different. I don't really know what you would want to call it, but uh, they were talking about zone runs and about how I think it was the guard or the tackle came over and was pulling, and instead of going to like the D end, he took out like the D tackle, and it opened up the hole like perfectly. And again, I would have to find the play because it's such a specific play that I'm trying to talk about. But I thought it looked perfect the way they ran the ball, everything, and like the way like the tight ends ran up to the second level, and if we're getting that type of running game from the Falcons every single week, it might be tough, especially getting into some of these colder games. I don't really know who they play, or if they play any outside cold games or whatever. But I mean, I don't know about you, it's starting to get a little bit chilly here. It's starting to get a little bit chilly here, and the weather is about to start turning. This is around the time, in my opinion, when running games really kind of get going. And if you got a great running game, especially again when it gets a little bit colder, um, it's gonna be
You
tough
gonna
to
go
stop.
far?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to stop.
Yeah.
But kind of like we had said about the Panthers last episode, they look like a college defense to me. Besides J.C. Horn, they just don't look great. Like they don't have any talent, and I mean that's no I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody on the defense. It's just They just don't look good. They can't stop nobody. Um, but yeah, I mean, shout out Deontay. He had himself a little tutty. Um, but yeah, besides that, I can't really say nothing about the Panthers. Anything good anyway. I'm not gonna sit here and talk trash about them like that.
All right, yeah. Going on to the next game, talk about this one again briefly. Sunday night football. The Bengals travel to New York, take on the Giants. They came away with a win, 17-7. Both teams go to 2-4. Not really much to take away on this game, honestly. Joe Burrow didn't have the best game. Shout out to the Giants defense, man. I ain't gonna lie, their defense is legit. I don't care. The pass rush is legit. The defensive line is legit. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. I mean, all of those guys, man. Aziz Ojolari, like those guys are really good. Like, and they're Cordell Flott too as well. Had a really good game. But yeah, I mean, Deontay Banks. But just the offense couldn't really get nothing going, and that's surprisingly because they did play a bad Cincinnati defense. But I mean, hey, their defense did look better getting Sheldon Rankins and BJ Hill back. But I mean, I thought the Giants was gonna have a somewhat better game offensively. But shout out to T. Higgins and Jamar. They had solid games. But the Bengals really won this game on the ground. Chase Brown had a pretty solid day. Joe Burrow had the long touchdown run. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
I want to get obviously the Bengals won. I want to give a little shout out to Tyron Tracy. He looks
Yeah.
good, especially with no Singletary. Um, I thought he looked really really good against the Seahawks last week, but yeah, I mean he looked good. The receiving core also like when Neighbors comes back, I thought Wandale stepped up, Darius kind of stepped up a little bit, and even Tyron Tracy in the passing game stepped up himself. Um, dude, you guys are paying Daniel Jones all this money, and like I don't know, he has some games like where he can be like an okay-ish game manager, but then
Mhm.
he has some game. It's like he can't do nothing for himself, like whatsoever. Like he can't like he has no sort of value. And I'm not trying to be like disrespectful to him, but like I don't know, like he just doesn't have any impact. And like when it really comes down and it really matters, like he just can't make the big play. Like I think it was on that fourth down, he tried to hit somebody like underneath on like a little like two yard, and he just turned around and Mike Hilton knocked it out. He read it perfectly, but you had the outside guy wide open on an out route, and it's like, bro, like I don't know. Like obviously I'm not an NFL quarterback, so he obviously better at football than I am, but whatever. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
also with the Bengals, they kind of like you said, they couldn't get anything going
yeah,
whatsoever besides that one touchdown for Burrow. It would have been a lot closer for game. And I mean, credit to him, he read that play perfectly. You could tell they were in man, and the safety came down, and it was a wide open touchdown for that. I think it was fourth down. It was a third or fourth down, but yeah, I mean, credit to them. They won when their backs were against the wall, and they did what they needed to do. So
yeah. Going on to the next game, um, the London game, and I know you've been ready to talk about Caleb. Jacksonville and the Bears, they faced off in London. Jaguars got destroyed 35-16. They fall to 1-5. The Bears going 4-2. I want to talk about Caleb for a second. I thought Caleb played really well. 23 for 29, 226, 4 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift had a really good game on the ground. Cole Kmet had a really solid game. Keenan Allen kind of had a little breakout game as a Bear. But I thought DeAndre Swift was really the glue to this offense. Um, but I do want to bring up one stat with the Bears that I think is very. I mean, I feel like I don't want to discredit Caleb, and I know that's everyone's gonna think I'm doing here, but I mean they play really well. They play really well, but I do want to see how he like. I will say this: their next like the next game against Washington. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I will say the next two games after that are very favorable: Arizona and New England. So the Bears could be looking at possibly 6-3. But I mean, I just think it's funny that the teams they beat, they haven't beat a team that has, I think, what, 2 wins. I think I seen that. Wait, do the Rams have 2 wins?
they got one. They won in three.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. I know everybody was kind of shitting on Caleb, but I mean, overall, he had a good game. He did what he was supposed to do. The Jaguars are arguably the worst team in the league. They definitely have the worst defense in the league. They are the worst defense against the pass. Just to go on Jacksonville a little bit, I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I guess Travis Etienne is just not the guy anymore. Evan Ingram had a pretty good day, but I think he's going to be a guy on the trade block. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, it's bad. Like, I mean, like I said, Travis Etienne 3 carries. I mean, I understand you're like,
He
you know what I'm saying?
he
I
he, he
like,
got hurt too. He got
yeah,
hurt.
yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, you're right. He did get hurt, but I don't understand what's going on in Jacksonville, man. I don't like. It's bad, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson. If they lose the next game, because let's see who they play next week. If they lose
They
to
play the
New England,
Patriots. Yeah.
if they lose to New England, which I think they might, I think Drake May might throw the party on them. If they lose to New England, it's over. You gotta let Doug Peterson go, because then after you let him go, you gotta be buyers, you gotta be sellers at the trade deadline. And Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and all those guys, it might be on their way out, man. But yeah, man, give me your thoughts on Caleb.
I thought Caleb played very, very well in that first quarter. Yeah, he kind of looked a little bit sloppy. But after that, I mean, he stepped up when he needed to. In the last 3 quarters of the game, I thought he played damn near perfect football. Um, yeah, I mean, they just played really good. I still think that you can kind of tell him and DJ Moore kind of really aren't on the same page all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like you got 3 number 1 guys over here if you want to count Rome as a number 1 guy, and Cole Kmet stepped up and he's a top 10-ish tight end if you want to say that, whatever you want to say.
Okay. Yeah, I
He's
get you that.
he stepped up when he needed to, and yeah, I mean credit to him that defense played lights out as well. Um, it was really that last, I think it was the last touchdown with 7 minutes left in the game. Man, they had won that game. It was 35-10. They did not care anymore, you know.
Yeah,
It
yeah, man.
that garbage time touchdown don't really mean much to me. It don't really motivate me at all. I agree with you. I think if the Patriots come in there to London, and the Jags are still in London, they're in London the whole week. If they go all the way to London and lose, if the Patriots beat them, yeah, I don't see
Wait,
them
hold
out as
on. Wait a minute. Wait. The Jags have another game in London?
they play them in London
Bro,
this
why they
Sunday.
in London for 3 weeks?
They stayed there. It was just 2 weeks. They played
Oh, okay.
the Jets Vikings played the first game.
Yeah, that's right. You raised the
Yeah,
Jets
yeah,
Vikings.
yeah. So I think again, if you lose, and I want to say the Jags got a bye week after that, don't they? It would make sense.
No, they
No, no,
don't.
no, they don't. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I just can't
Yeah.
see a way where I'm also with you about the sellers. I just think it's crazy that like 2 years ago they were like legit in contention. I think they made it to the second round of the playoffs. They almost beat the Chiefs. You know, it's like, and within 2 years they're arguably the worst team in football and might have the number 1 overall pick again. It's like, bro, like I don't know. There's not really much positive to say about the team.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where Travis, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram are all gone. And that's just kind of what it is. But yeah, moving on to the next game. The game maybe of the day. I don't know if you want to say that, but the Commanders travel to Baltimore, take on the Ravens. Ravens ended up winning the game 30-23. The Commanders, both teams ended up being 4-2. My main takeaway from this game, next game, the Commanders, and probably was a game of the day. The Commanders traveled to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens ended up winning the game 30-23. Both teams went to 4-2. My main takeaways from this game, I'm gonna start with the Ravens side of things. Zay Flowers just killed him. 9 catches on 9 targets. Derrick Henry had another monster day. 24 carries, a buck 32, 2 touchdowns. Mark Andrews got the ball, and yeah, I mean Lamar and company, they took care of business. Um, the Commander side of things, it just showed me once again their defense is just what I kind of thought they were. They had 2 really solid weeks, but I think they played they played Cleveland and they played Arizona, 2 of some of the worst offensive teams in the league. Yeah, like so just in for the Commanders, I just think it just kind of showed to me again that their defense is just kind of what I thought they were. The secondary is completely, I don't even know the word for it. The secondary is terrible. Between Benjamin St. Juste And between, I don't even think Emmanuel Forbes is playing. I don't even know who the other guy is. Noah, I don't want to pronounce his last name wrong, but the whole secondary is just absolute garbage. They had two really good games against the Commanders and the Cardinals, who are two of the some of the worst offensive teams in the league. But yeah, I mean, I thought Jane Daniels played a really solid game. They couldn't get the run game going like me and you kind of thought they weren't. I know Brian Robinson didn't play, but the Ravens do have the best run defense in the league. Terry McLaurin, I thought had a really good game. That touchdown he had was absolutely insane. Both of them. But yeah, I mean, I thought the Commanders did pretty solid for their first really kind of tough. No, for their second tough challenge. I thought they handled themselves pretty well. But I really think they need to go get some help in the secondary, man, because Benjamin St. Juice was getting killed by Zay Flowers all game.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough game for the Commanders' defense. I kind of felt like this game was really just Jaden and Terry versus the Ravens. It just didn't really seem like anybody came to play and kind of stepped up besides them two. Um, but going to the Ravens side, that's more kind of what I'm looking at. Derrick Henry looks again 100% like he's besides CMC the best running back in the NFL, but obviously CMC ain't playing. Um, just the duo of Lamar and Derrick Henry is insane. And again, I was giving them a hard time about their offensive line, how I was worried about in the first 2 weeks. Yeah, they look perfectly fine now. So I gotta give them their credit where credit's due. Yeah, Zay Flowers stepped up, and that defense looks. They look good. They look. I don't want to say they kind of like they were last year. I thought their defense last year was a lot better than this year, but defense this year still looks good. I do want to. I saw someone, I think it was a TikTok or a tweet or whatever. Can you imagine Kyle Hamilton with that Ravens defense like 10 years ago with like Ray and Ed Reed and Suggs? Dude, it would be crazy. It would be lights out. But yeah,
Oh my god, man! Like imagine him with Air Reed, bro. Like that would be just filthy. I can't even lie. Like that would be insane. But I mean, I want to get just another shout out to the Ravens, man. They once again took care of business. I think their next few games, they got Tampa, Cleveland, and then Denver. I think the Tampa game is going to be a really good one to see. I think that one can go kind of either way, but I think the Ravens, they're on the road, and then they got the Browns. I think they'll beat the Browns, and then they got Denver on my birthday, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, hey, look, Baltimore, they back on the right track after starting off 0-2. I mean, they won four straight. I mean, we were talking about this stretch was kind of going to be a little difficult for them, and they won all four games, and the offense has put on the clinic, man. Shout out to Lamar Jackson, front runner for MVP once again. I will say it's kind of funny that everybody they always say he's fraud MVP, and then he comes out and he just does the same thing all over again. And all the guy does is win, man. Like, and it's that is really that simple. I remember they were saying, man, he's the worst MVP ever. Okay, well, guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna come out there the next season and win it again. Now what? Like, I just think it's funny, man. I really do.
for the legacy aspect, he would have what 3 MVPs, and he's what 7 years in, eight
Like,
years,
that's
something like that.
insane.
It's like, dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's insane. Like he's definitely, in my opinion, I know people say it's either him or Vic. I think he's the best dual threat quarterback to ever play. I really
Like,
do.
bro, this is his seventh year. His first year starting, he won 14 games. Like, like it's to me, in my opinion, I think it's a real discussion. Like, discussion's gonna have to be made. I mean, obviously, he's got to get the Super Bowl, but just in terms of a winning aspect, though, like he is he's just a winner in this league, man. And I'm not gonna. I mean, people are acting like his losses in the playoffs aren't that bad. I mean, this year he lost like last year he lost to the Chiefs. The first year, I think, yeah, the only bad one I think he's actually had was the Titans, and that was his first playoff game. Like, actually, like, I mean, yeah. No, that was his second
Didn't
playoff
yeah?
game.
Didn't he play the Chargers that one year? I think
Yeah, he played
he
the
didn't play that
Chargers, but
great.
like, yeah, no, but he was. I think he didn't even play 8 games. Like, he came in kind of late in the year, and then yeah, like, I mean, people can say they want to say I'm not. I don't have any questions about Lamar, man. I feel like if they just run the ball, they go into the Super Bowl last year. If Todd Monken just sticks to the kind of the play call a little bit, but I think this year, man, if they can get that weapon, if they can get that one more receiver, like if they can get a Christian Kirk or if they can get someone to kind of help Lamar, just if they can get that extra receiver. I don't think. I think they can easily come out the AFC, man.
Yeah, I think I think kind of the big reason everybody gives him slack is because people just feel like he choked in the playoffs and he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. But like, what quarterback right now has won a Super Bowl besides Mahomes? You know, it's like, man, if you want to give him, if you want to give him like, if you want to bash him or whatever, like you gotta also bash Josh Allen for the same thing. You gotta bash Burrow for losing the Super Bowl. You gotta bash all these quarterbacks, all these like top 5, 10 quarterbacks you talking about. Like you gotta bash them the same way. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also kind of think it's weird that people. I think a lot of it has to do with people like the whole him being a running back and all that. That always pisses me off because it's like, dude, he's so much more than that, and people just like diminish him, and like people say he can't pass the ball and he's not a good passer and all that stuff. It's like, dude, he's great. He's a great quarterback. He's top 2, 3, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, it's just annoying, man. I just had to bring that up because it's like this dude just does it week in, week out. But yeah, going on to the next game. Um, this game was I really want to hear your thoughts on this one. The Browns went into Philly, a disgusting game, um, to say the least. The Browns dropped to 1-5. Eagles go to 3-2. Eagles won this game, like I said, 20-16. Jalen Hurts played an okay game. 16 for 25, 264, 2 touchdowns. Saquon couldn't get anything going on the ground. Dallas got injured in this game, but AJ Brown showed why he's one of the best receivers in the league. Came back, put up a buck 16 and a touchdown. Um, the defense I thought played really well, but again, they're playing the Browns. Deshaun Watson was an absolute atrocity in this game. He was terrible in this game. By all means, the offensive line was terrible once again. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, it was just bad. The Browns are a dumpster fire. And this will be Amari Cooper's last game as a Cleveland Brown. But I kind of want to get your thoughts on I want to get your thoughts on the Browns first, man. Give me give me your thoughts on the team in you guys' division.
Dude, I don't know. I was told this was the Browns' year. I was told by so many Browns fans that this was the year and that they were going to win the AFC North and they were going to go to the Super Bowl and they were going to win it because they had the best roster in the NFL and all they needed was Deshaun to step up a little bit. And it's like, dude, the offense looks atrocious, and eventually it does come down, and like I think we had talked about a couple episodes ago, it eventually does come down to the point of like, at what point do you just eat the cap space and just go with Jameis, or like draft a quarterback? Like if you playing like this, if you're gonna be 1-5, let's just say they win. If they continue this pace, let's say they go 3-13, 14, whatever it would be. You telling me
You
they
think they
wouldn't
can
have?
win a game?
No, no. I definitely think they're gonna win a couple games, but just because I think that defense is like, the defense is solid, but
I mean, I'm
dude,
looking at their schedule. Okay, hear me out. Here's their next 6 games: Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Chargers, the Saints, the Steelers, and the Broncos. After that is the Steelers again, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Dolphins, and then the Ravens.
dude, that's
Like,
tough. That's tough.
bro, come on,
That's
man.
tough.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, obviously, I think they can win another game, but it's like, god damn. Like, honestly, like the next 2 games, can they beat the Bengals? Can they beat the can they beat the Ravens? No. Can they beat the Chargers? Probably not. The Saints, by that'll be what, week 6, 7. No, that'll be week
They
7, 8,
they
9,
might get
10.
that game. They might get that game.
And week 10, no, Carr's gonna be back.
I mean, you also
They're
got to
gonna
think
be
about
healthy by
Chubb
week
coming
10.
back too.
Maybe. I mean, Chubb gives them a hope to win a game, but like I don't
That
think they're
that,
gonna
that
win
that's what I
5.
mean. Let's just say they win a couple. They win. They average out what they're doing right now. They 1-5. Let's say they win 3 games this season. Eventually, just like go,
Like,
just cut your loss, draft a rookie quarterback, and just go from there. It's
I just want to put this out there. Their one win was against Jacksonville. So it's like, okay, look, I'll say this. We saw the Broncos do this. The Broncos said, fuck this. We're just gonna eat the cap. We're gonna get rid of Russ because we're not gonna just do this again. Like we're not gonna go out there and just be like, you know what I'm saying? I think the Browns don't necessarily have a choice because now you're talking about maybe getting rid of Njoku, and now you're like Amari's gone, and like it's just bad, man. Like I, mm, it's bad. Like you
I
really had to get rid of Amari.
yeah. I also think it's funny how they only had one sack all game, and that was JOK. I mean, Mr. D Boy himself, he ain't really do much all game. He had 2 tackles for
Well,
loss
first off,
and
hold
two
on, hold on, hold
tackles,
on,
zero
time out,
sacks.
time out. Well, he did have a blocked field goal that resulted in a
All right,
touchdown. So
whatever. I don't care about none of that. I do not care about none of that. Let me hate on this
he
man.
jumped over the line, man. Come on,
Even
bro.
though
He's
I
getting
like
double teamed.
Miles Garrett, He's cool. I just don't think he deserved Defensive Player of the Year. So anytime I get to slander him, I'm going to. That's all I gotta say. I
I
like
mean,
him. He's cool, but TJ Watt should have won it. So I'm gonna slander him.
yeah, going over to the Philly side of it. Um, I didn't like how they played offensively. Their next 4 games, I think, are really gonna tell who they are as a team. They got the Giants and Cincy on the road, then Jacksonville, and then Dallas on the road. So they'll beat Jacksonville, hopefully. But I think that the Giants, the Bengals, and the Cowboys are gonna tell what type of team they are, especially on how they win those games. Um, I just don't know, man. Something not right with Philly. Like, I don't think I wanna say it's Kellen Moore. Like, I wanna say Kellen Moore, but at some point the common denominator has to be the QB. Because you're going by what? Because remember everybody says it was Brian Johnson. Now everybody's saying it's Kellen Moore. Now I'm not saying it's all on Jalen. I'm just saying like something's not right. I didn't watch the full game, but something's not right. It might be Kellen Moore, but I'm just saying like I don't think Jalen Hurts is playing too well, but that could also be because of the play calling. But yeah, I think these next 4 games are gonna really show what type of team Philly's gonna be.
Something I saw on Twitter. Let me make sure I got my facts straight. They were talking about the trades, the 2 trades, and they traded what Davante for a 3rd round pick that could become a second if something happens. So they traded him for that, and they traded what Cooper for a 3rd round pick as well. I think something like that.
To my Dotson, huh?
Yeah, they traded for Dotson for a 3rd round pick, and he has
I
six
mean, look,
catches for 35 yards. And
I'm gonna say
it's
this about Howie. I'm gonna say this about how he has fleeced a lot of teams in his day. Like since he's been a GM, I think he's done he's done a lot of good trades that have benefited the team. But this one was just one of the ones that was bad. It was bad. I mean, they haven't used him at all how I thought they were. I thought he was gonna be really good in the slot for them. I think he still can be. I just think they're not using him at all. Um, but yeah, they definitely missed. Like they definitely 100% missed. I would have went after Amari Cooper, but they don't have the capital because they gave up the 3rd round pick for Dotson, which is looking like a fleece by the gods from the Commanders. So yeah.
real quick. What do you think happens with Reddick?
I mean he's got an agent now. I think that it really depends, man, because wherever he goes, you're gonna have to pay him. So it's not like wherever he goes at this point, like I don't think he goes anywhere because if I mean he was gonna play, he just play with the Jets. Like I think a team's gonna have to pay him, like, and it's gonna have to be a team that's in complete desperate need. Like people throwing out the Lions, I just don't see it. The Lions just paid that one defensive tackle almost 100 million, which I don't know how I feel about that. I think he's a really good player, but 100 million is kind of crazy. But I think Hassan Reddick is just I don't know, man. Like, what team could honestly take him on right now and pay him like a contending team? It's not many. Like, so wherever he goes, it's gonna have to be a team kind of in the middle of the pack. I would want to see what Green Bay's looking like. I think Green Bay could be a really good spot for him. Just kind of what I'm just free balling here. I would say Green Bay, um, maybe Washington. I think will be a good spot for him. I think Washington or Green Bay could be some realistic spots for him because I think they both kind of need help a little bit on the defensive line. But yeah.
I can't lie. I got no idea what they're gonna do with him, like whatsoever. I can't see them trading him to an AFC team, because I do think the Jets are looking at as we're gonna make the playoffs this year. We're gonna be competitive, and they obviously don't want to run into him. And dude, I got no idea. Again, my only guess was the Lions until they just signed the defensive tackle today. It's like I got no idea. I know people talking about the Lions should trade for Max Crosby, but it's like, bro, like I don't know. I just can't see the. I could see Crosby over Reddick just because I think Crosby's significantly better of a player.
Yeah, and plus
But
he's already paid.
yeah, I don't know. This whole situation. I think we were talking about a couple episodes ago. I think he has up until week 10. It's either week 8 or week 10. It can't be week 8 because they'd be talking about that by now. I think it's week 10. If he doesn't report or play by week 10, then it doesn't count as a year against his contract. So then he's automatically still on the same contract. So it's not like a year expires on his contract. So he's still in the same position he is now, just lost a playing year and all this money. So I
Yeah,
got
he's
no
lost
idea.
millions.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like he can't play. I don't think he can play again. And again, he also lost a year of his career, and he's still on the same contract for the same year because it doesn't count as another year because he didn't play. So I got no
Yeah,
idea
it's
at
just
all.
it's just bad on both sides. It's bad on both sides. It's bad on his side and it's bad on the Jet side. It's just bad all around. But going on to the next game, the chart.
Hold. Real
Go
quick.
ahead.
What do you think? How do you think that conversation went between the Eagles and the Jets of like, hey, bro, you want Hassan Reddick? Man, I know you'll love his agent. He's so cooperative. Man, you'll get a deal done right away and trade it. Like how do you
I
trade for
mean,
him and not get a deal done?
well, by the looks of it, it looks like the Jets were gonna pay him. Like they knew we getting him, we're gonna have to pay him. So that was the kind of the thing of it. Like, and then they just were just. It looks like Woody Johnson was just like, we're not gonna pay him. Like he's gonna just play, and I just think that. I mean, that's just what it looks like because man, he showed up to the press conference. He's like, I'm gonna be a Jet, and they just did not pay him.
He did his
And I remember
physical
when he was
too, I think, right?
yeah, like I mean, he wanted to play, but I mean, like you trading the guy for holding out on a contract, and then you trade for him and not pay him. Like that has to be one of the most questionable moves I've ever seen. Like it's just like, why would you do that? Like why? Like you thought just because maybe he'll buy in? Nah, man, that's just not how it works. But yeah, moving on to the next game. My team took the L this week. Chargers went to Denver and they beat us 23-16. Broncos go to 3-3. Chargers go to 3-2. Um, I'll talk about the Broncos and I'll let Ryan get into the Chargers. Um, yeah, this is another week, man, that goes to show our receiving core is an absolute dumpster fire. It's an absolute train wreck. They all should be ashamed of themselves. Cortland Sutton, I mean, outside of Troy Franklin and a little bit of Devon Vele, Cortland Sutton, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and even Javante Williams. I mean, they're just letting Bo Nix down. I mean, Bo, I think obviously I saw. I mean, the stats will show like going into the fourth quarter, he really struggled. But I watched the game and guys just weren't getting open. They were pointing it out on the broadcast that the Chargers were just absolutely clamping us. Um, I mean, yeah, it's very frustrating. I know a lot of Bronco fans during this game were just kind of like disappointed and were like, Bo, yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be the guy after we just really went on a 3-game win streak, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, you know, when you have a rookie quarterback and your receivers are just constantly finishing the game with 0.94 yards of separation, and then you see like guys like Tim Patrick and Jerry Judy over on their team. Well, Tim Patrick's balling, Jerry Judy's getting the same high average yards of separation. And I just want to point out a stat for Bo Nix because I know everybody's kind of getting on him. Bo Nix in obviously the last 4 games we played, 3-1, 62% completion percentage, 700 yards, 7 total touchdowns, only 1 interception, 120 yards on the ground, and no fumbles. So he really only has and he's not even taking sacks. I think he took 2 sacks this game. I think they said he's only taken like 7 sacks in the last 4 games, maybe even less than that. Just remarkable. But I just thought it was funny. Everybody wants to clown Bo Nix, and his numbers are arguably better than Josh Allen's through the last 4 games. So um, he was our leading rusher once again. I just think the receivers are completely letting us down. Patrick Tan got hurt, but the defense play only gave up 3 points in the second half. But in order for the Broncos to win, man, we gonna have to find a way to put guys in the game that's gonna create separation. But I'll let you get into the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really pay a crazy amount of attention to the game. I was more kind of watching the Steelers game. Um, but I was trying to keep up with the games as well. I thought J.K. Dobbins ran the ball pretty well, and granted he had 25 carries for about 100 yards and a touchdown. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say about the game besides I just know J.K. Dobbins kind of went off. The receiving core is kind of whatever, and I'm assuming the defense kind of stepped up. I did pay attention towards the end of the game more so, and I thought the Broncos were about to come back and win the game. Um, but yeah, I mean, man, I hope Jim Harbaugh is all right. I was reading into it a
Yeah.
little bit today, and they were talking about him having arrhythmia, and he was dealing with some sort of like flutter in his heart. And I was looking it up, and they were talking about arrhythmia as a regular heartbeat that can cause the heart to beat too fast, too slow, or with an irregular rhythm. And they were talking about this is the second time that's happened to him while coaching. The other time was in 2012 against the 49ers. They said he's experienced it 3 times in his life, and he'll wear a heart monitor for the next 2 weeks. Um, man, I can't. I just hope he's all right. I thought it was more just food
Facts.
poisoning. And I texted you and I was like, man, just get this man a trash can, put him up in the booth, and let him throw up. Because
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a little stomach ache, or
Yeah.
he had food poisoning or something. And a lot of people were talking about it. It could be like the altitude. And I know when Adam Schefter was on the McAfee show, I was watching it, and they were talking. Adam Schefter was talking about how when he went to Colorado, he was supposed to go to a Nuggets game and go out to eat, and then fly out the next day. He flew straight to Denver or Colorado or something. Immediately started like, having symptoms of like his heart was beating, he was sweating, he felt like he was going to throw up. He had to go straight to a doctor, and he left the next day, and they ended up diagnosing him with basically the same thing. Um, and he was saying he can't go to Denver. Like I think you guys got a Monday night game in Denver this year, I think,
Yeah.
and he said he can't even go because of how bad the altitude is and all that. But I mean that's besides the point. I hope he's all right, and yeah, I mean I just thought the Chargers they did enough to not lose the game, and yeah, credit to them.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know, man. I really hope like the Broncos have the Saints on Thursday, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I know even with all the injuries they got, I'm just not confident in this game. I'm not confident whatsoever. I just do not believe. And I know the Saints defense has not played well. I just do not. I just do not trust these wide receivers. I do not trust Cortland Sutton. I do not trust Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't trust none of those guys, man. Outside of maybe Troy Franklin and Devon Vele. I mean, but Bo Nix, I don't know why, but I just feel like this game might be really bad for him because it's like you're going up against Lattimore, Lante Taylor, Adebo, and Kool-Aid McKinstry against Cortland Sutton, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Devon Vele. So it's like the matchups is gonna be insane. I just feel like it's gonna be a bad game coming. I don't know why.
Is
I just feel
PS2
it.
playing? You don't know?
He's out. Got a
Oh, is he?
concussion.
Damn. I wasn't sure if he came back. I know he had a concussion. I wasn't sure if he was cleared
Yeah,
by now.
yeah. I think the defense will be fine. I'm just worried about this offense, man. But yeah. Shout out to the Chargers. They ran the ball really well. They chewed clock for most of the second half, dominated the time of possession, but they got the win. But yeah, that's it, man. Broncos got to find a way to just get. They just need some receivers. Going on to the next game. Um, this man Ryan's team got the dub, and we're gonna talk about the problem with them in just a second. But yeah, so they traveled to Vegas, beat the Raiders 32-13, go to 4-2 in the season. The Raiders dropped to 2-4. I'm not really gonna talk about the Raiders too much, man. I'm not gonna talk about the Raiders. But yeah, Justin Fields I thought played a solid game. I thought the Raiders did a somewhat of a good job against the pass. George Pickens didn't really get too much. The receiving game, they really dominated this game on the ground with Najee and Fields. The defense also, I think, played really well in this game for the Steelers once again. A shout out to TJ Watt and those boys on the defense side of the ball. But yeah, I mean, I thought Fields played solid. I thought Fields played relatively well. Um, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it from Pittsburgh, man. Honestly, I didn't really see anything that concerned me from them. That's why the move to bench Justin Fields was caught me completely off guard. I thought he played well enough. I don't know what they're kind of expecting Russ to do, but I mean, we'll see about that. I didn't really want to talk about the Raiders. I thought they just didn't play a good game at all. Max Crosby might be on his way out of there. You just kind of see the frustration growing a little bit. He's the last one left. No Derek Carr, no Davante. I mean, he's the last guy there. Him and Jacoby Myers, but Jacoby's gonna be there for a while. But he's like the last guy kind of left. So we'll see how where that goes. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere this season. I think if anything, it'll be in the off season. But yeah, man, I'm really interested to see what Pittsburgh is gonna do moving forward. Like I said, I don't think benching Fields was the right thing. He didn't play the best game, only had 145 yards passing, but I don't think he played a bad game. I feel like he did what he had to do. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, I thought we played a solid game. Again, it's against the Raiders, and they're damn near the whole team was banged up. Um, I thought this was kind of Najee's back, like bounce back game. Um,
yeah,
but like besides that, the offense looks atrocious, and I'm kind of with you about Russ, where it's like some of these plays, like the offense is already not explosive whatsoever, and the only explosive thing on this offense is Justin Fields' ability to run the ball and extend the plays. And adding Russ back there, I don't really know what they're expecting. I mean, I trust Tomlin, but like I just don't. I don't agree with it. Um, I thought at the beginning of the season, again, we were talking about this before we even started doing the pod, and I thought the best idea was to start Russ, and if he sucked, then you can bench him and go with Fields for the rest of the season. I just don't think you could have gone with Fields to start the season out purposefully, and then if Fields sucked, then go with Russ. Because then if Russ sucks, then the only elite thing at that point is like our Justin Fields' legs, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't really I don't get it. I understand he was hurt, and I understand your idea was for him to be the starting quarter, like for Russ to be the starting quarterback for the season, like at the beginning of the season. Um, I just don't. I just don't agree with it. But I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see. I think we're gonna get absolutely obliterated on Sunday night against the Jets. And I kind of hope we do, and maybe that kind of opens the eyes of Tomlin and the whole team, and it's kind of like, yeah, Fields is the guy. I just don't think that's gonna happen. I think Tomlin, as much as I love Tomlin, I think he's so kind of in his ways of everything that like it would take an absolute like choke job for us. But I did see a lot of Steeler fans talking about that part of the trade with the Bears was if Justin Fields plays over 51% of the snaps, we got to give him a fourth-round pick. And if he plays under 51% of the snaps for the season, we got to give him a sixth-round pick. Man, come on. If that's actually why they benched him, it's like, bro, like, come on. Like, give up the fourth-round pick. And I can't see them doing that, though. I can't see them being that, like, of immature of a franchise and just being like, yeah, we got to bench him. Because, if you really look at it, Fields is absolutely the only elite thing as of right now. Like, I love Pickens, but he is not playing. He's just not playing the best. Like, he got 26 catches for 363 yards for the season. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just really question what they're doing. Obviously, I trust Tomlin. I think he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL, but I just don't know what they're doing right now. But
yeah, I'll give my opinion.
real quick, I just want to give TJ Watt his flowers, and that's all I gotta say. He defensive player of the year. Give it to him.
Okay, all right. No, I would say my take on the whole thing is I saw Russ play for 2 years, man, and the only thing that's kind of keeping his Steelers offense afloat is Justin Fields' ability to extend plays because the offensive line is not great. And I saw Russell Wilson with the offensive line in Denver, whose was good, still find a way to take sacks, not extend the play when trying to extend the play when the play didn't need it to be extended. I just don't know how that's going to bode well in Pittsburgh too much. I honestly think that he's going to struggle, man. I mean, it's just not like I don't know what they're kind of thinking here. Like the line isn't good. The weapons already struggling as it is. The run game isn't. It's no foundation there, and it's just like you really think Russell Wilson's gonna come in here and what give you a boost? Like I just don't think he's gonna be better than what Fields was doing. I think Russ is gonna protect the ball. I think he's gonna be hella conservative. And I think that's just going to like y'all aren't gonna put up any points. Like I'm not enough points, I'll say. But that's really all I gotta say about Russ, man. We'll see how the game goes.
But
Yeah,
it's not like Fields was even turning the ball over a crazy amount. Like he did have that,
exactly.
yeah, like he had a pick, and I think he had that one. I think it was against the Cowboys. I think he had that one fumble against them, and I'm probably missing something else. But like I mean, I thought for the most part Fields was playing like pretty good
I thought he was
football.
playing really well.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it was stuff he needs to fix accuracy wise, but I thought he was playing relatively well. I thought he was giving y'all the best chance to win, and I mean, y'all are 4-2. Like, I felt like he did a really good job. Y'all will see eventually. But going on to the last game from Sunday, oh man, the Lions absolutely gave belt ass to the Cowboys. It was in a I haven't seen an ass whooping like that in a long time. 47-9. It was the biggest fuck you I've ever seen. I mean, Jared Goff was damn near perfect. 18 for 25, 315, 3 tubs. Dak was awful. The running game was awful. They couldn't stop the run. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, Lord Jesus. I mean, I haven't seen two backs run the ball like that in a while. Like they ran the ball. I mean, they were just killing them all over the place. Tim Patrick, shout out to him, had a huge game receiving. Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, they all ate today, and it's real tough, man. I mean, it's really tough for Dallas. I don't know where they kind of go from here. I mean, their identity as a team is just getting weaker and weaker. I mean, hopefully when they get back healthy, it'll be better. But I'm looking at their next 5 games: Dallas, San Francisco, Atlanta, Philly, Houston, Washington. Lord have mercy. They might get steamrolled. I mean, because San Francisco running the ball, Atlanta running the ball, Philly running the ball. I mean, like where you kind of go from here with that. You know what I'm saying? So I Houston running the ball. I mean, they might get steamrolled. Like I honestly just don't know. Like I don't know where Dallas goes from here, but the Lions right now are looking like the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
yeah. Before I get to this, I had one last thing to say about the whole Steelers game. That was I think it was fifth or fourth time. I think it was fifth time we scored over 30 points in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, that's the fifth time we scored over 30 points, and you bench this man.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's crazy to me. But that's besides the point. Whatever. Yeah, I mean I'm with you about the running game for the Lions, Monty and Gibbs. I mean, dude, like Monty is so powerful, and then Gibbs has like that shifty, but like can also kind of run you over a little bit too. Um, and like Amari, he didn't even really need to do anything. Like he had that touchdown at the end of the game, but that did not matter. You know, they were already crushing them regardless. Um, I do like obviously like every good human being. I hope Aiden Hutchinson is all right. I hope he recovers, and I hope he's
Yeah,
able to come
prayers
back
to
next
Hayden.
season.
Yeah.
Um,
Prayers.
I do kind of want to get your opinion on who you. And we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but if you could pick somebody like another pass rusher for them to trade for, who do you think would be a good fit for him?
It's kind of hard. I don't really know who's available on the market. Um, I actually don't know because there's not really too many teams that's like selling at the deadline. Um, maybe Zadarius Smith. I think the Browns could maybe move on from him. But I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. I have to look at the market, but right now my guess would just be Zadarius Smith because I think the Browns are going to pretty much try to clean house. That's kind of what the direction is trending to. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I got no answer either. Like, I don't really got any definitive answer. I've just seen a lot of people talking about how they should trade for Miles, which is crazy, Max, which is
Mm.
crazy, and Reddick, which I think would probably be the most realistic. But like, even then, it's like that's not even realistic either. Like, I'm not really sure because I mean, like, you definitely you have to get somebody. You know, like you got to replace him, even though you're not gonna be able to replace the production. Um, I don't know. Like, the only player I can think of is just Reddick, but again, like, I don't know. I think the
Yeah, they
draft
would have to pay
compensation.
him.
Yeah. I think the draft compensation wouldn't be like you wouldn't have to give up nearly as much because I think they kind of just want to get rid of him at this point. Or like the Jets just want to kind of move on from him type thing. But
Yeah,
you'd have to pay him a bag.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we'll see as the trade deadline goes. Another name will pop up from another team. But yeah, I know you said you had some questions for me, and then after that we'll kind of leave things off. But what's the questions?
I got like 3, 4-ish.
All right, go ahead, shoot.
And one of them was kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier with Kyle Hamilton, and yeah, this has always kind of been a. Obviously, I'm a big Steelers fan, so I'm biased towards this question. So you already know my answer. But if you could pick all 4 players in their prime, so not this year, not last year, all 4 of these players in their prime, would you rather have Kyle Hamilton and Ed Reed or Minka and Troy Polamalu? It's tough. It's a tough one. It is very, very tough. Cause you can't go wrong with either
Ew.
one. You can't go wrong with either one.
Mm.
But I think both of them are like elite at what they do. But it's just really what you value. You know.
Because it's like, so Minka and Ed, they're the ball hawks. And then you got Troy and Kyle, they both kind of like are the hybrid types. Oh, that's tough, man. I would go. This is a tough one. I had to go Ed Reed. I had to go Ed Reed and Kyle just because it's tough, man.
It's
It's tough.
tough.
It's
It's a
tough. It's
tough
so
question. I was
tough.
thinking about it today, and I was like, dude, I
It's
got
so
I got no
tough.
idea. I got no idea who I'd pick. Like I would probably lean Troy and Minka, but that's just because I'm biased. You know.
Yeah, I would go Kyle and Ed. I think that I would go Kyle and Ed, man. I think just from an IQ standpoint of it, I'm going those two guys, man. I mean, can you imagine two safeties like that? Oh my god, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one. To be honest with you. Another question for you: if you could start a franchise with one of these 2 guys, quarterbacks, would you rather have Jaden or Caleb?
It's early. It's early.
It's
If I
very
would
early.
say one right now, I'll take Jaden Daniels. But that's not new for me though, because I thought he was better than Caleb going into the draft anyway.
Yeah,
About
I'm not
you?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure who I go with. I do think they're both elite at what they do. Um, and you can see them both getting comfortable in their positions and kind of like what they do and like what their team is asking for them to do. Um, I like Caleb. I like Caleb. I think he's gonna be. Granted, I also think Jaden is gonna be a great quarterback. But I think Caleb is gonna be like very, very good. So I'd probably roll with Caleb. I know a lot of people talking about the offensive rookie of the year, and
Bo. No, fuck with you.
that man said Bo. I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people think. I think Jaden, like I know a lot of people saying it's Jaden's to like 100%, and there's not a competition for it. I think definitely Caleb is playing very well. He has. Let me look real quick. Just his stats. I mean, again, either answer is whatever. Like they both balling. He has 2 games already in his career with over 300 yards passing. It's like, and the game against Jaguars, he only had 226, but that was his best game of the season. He keeps getting better and better and better, in my opinion. So I might roll with Caleb. But another question for you. If you could pick we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. If you could give me your top 3, 4, 5-ish MVP candidates right now, who would they be?
Ooh, top 5 MVP candidates.
Anywhere from like 3 to 5-ish. It don't gotta be 5. It don't gotta be 3. Like if you got another guy you just want to give a little shout out to or whatever at 4, you can do that.
I'll give you my top 3 right now. The top 3, and this may sound crazy, but I don't think it's crazy. Number 3, give me Derrick Henry. I'm going Derrick Henry at 3. 2, okay, look, I'm gonna still stick with him. I just think he's having a damn good season. That's just me. I'm still taking Joe Burrow at 2, but I'm going Lamar at 1. I got 2 Ravens in there. What about you?
Man, hurts my soul. That hurts my soul. No, I'm playing. I got Lamar at 1. I think Lamar is the best player so far in the NFL. I do want to give I do think Josh is balling, and I kind of didn't include him in that one video of top 3 quarterbacks. Granted, he was coming off of 2 bad weeks, but I really think it's Lamar's beyond everybody. Like it's really not close in my opinion. It's you know who's a favorite to win MVP right now, right? Like betting odds. Mahomes.
I think it's Lamar.
It's Mahomes.
No, I said it's Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is the betting favorite. He got plus 360. Josh Allen is plus 475, and Lamar is plus 550.
Yeah, I don't think Mahomes getting it, man.
No. I mean he's not playing the greatest. He's making some bad decisions, throwing the ball, like just like turning the ball over. I think he has like an interception in damn near every single one of his games. But yeah. Anyway, Lamar is 1. I might go Josh too. I think he's playing good, but also I don't know. Derrick Henry's a good answer though. But I can't copy you. I want to be different. I'm gonna go Jaden 3. I'll go Jaden 3. I'll go Lamar 1, okay. Josh 2, Jaden 3. I just want to be a little bit different than you. But last question that I got. Who do you think got the better value? Like what trade do you think was better? Do you think Cooper's trade to the Bills, or do you think Davante's to the Jets? Who do you think got better value?
The Jets.
You know how much the Bills paying him?
I mean, yeah. Wait, talking about Amari?
Yeah, they paying them in the vet minimum.
Oh wait. Oh wait. No, wait. The question was value.
Yeah. Who do you think got the best value?
Oh, the Bills. Yeah, because the Jets took on Davante's salary. Yeah, no, it's the Bills. Yeah, the Bills are paying him nothing. So yeah. Now I don't know. The Jets gave up that high price, and they're still paying him his full salary. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I got a better wording of a question, and I think this would be I think we can kind of both agree on this. Which trade do you think is gonna in the future look better? Like, let's say we get to playoff time, we get to January football. What trade do you think we're gonna look back at and be like, damn, that was that was a great trade. Like they really got like what they really needed to between Coop and Davante.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Davante. Amari. I think Amari's only there for this year. I think he's gonna be gone in free agency because remember, I think he is a free agent after the season, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think
I
he
think
is a
he
free agent
is.
after this year. So yeah, so I'm gonna go Davante because he's gonna be with the Jets for the remainder of his contract. And I think Amari's gonna go somewhere else in free agency. So I think we're gonna look back and say the Jets kind of got the, look back on say they kind of want to trade more because Amari, this is just for this year. So
Yeah,
so yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think Devontae. We're gonna look back in January, and I really do think the Jets are a good team. And I'm not saying the Bills aren't. I just think that connection between Rodgers and Devontae is gonna kind of prove like their schedule gets a little bit easy coming up soon. I think they kind of go on a little bit of a run, and I think we're gonna look back at that trade in the playoffs and be like, damn, that's kind of what pushed them over the hump a little bit. But yeah, I mean those are the only questions I got for you. Do you got any questions for me?
Nah, I don't. I'm good. But yeah.
I'm cool,
But yeah,
man.
I think that's gonna do it for this episode, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. So tomorrow we're gonna do our episode where we're gonna do the episode tomorrow where we give our predictions. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the Devontae and Amari Cooper trade. But yeah, until the next one, peace out, guys.